any commodity that is relatively scarce in terms of supply when compared to demand commands a price, and all free goods are found in abundance. They are found in quantities that are much more than what is demanded, and therefore when we talk about supply, just because we have to talk about scarcity, and scarcity is a relative term, it is much more difficult to understand about supply than about demand. But when we take the relationship between supply and price, we find that again supply varies with price. Whenever the price rises, producers will like to increase their production, because given the costs, given the other things, if those remain constant and if the price is rising, it will lead to more profits, and therefore it is an incentive for a producer to supply more. But on the other hand, when the price falls, then it is a disincentive for the producer. He will shrink, he will reduce the amount that he is supplying to the market, and therefore when we look at the relationship between price and supply, we find that there is a positive relationship. We had seen that demand is inversely related to price, and now we have come to know that supply is directly related to price. This is because the consumer has scarce, or he has his income which is fixed, and income becomes a barrier to expansion of demand, and not only that, the availability of factors to produce from the supply side also is scarce, and therefore demand has certain constraints and supply also has certain constraints. And when we look at how these two interact with each other, then we can understand how prices are determined. But let us take a schedule, again a tabular form, to understand the relationship between price and supply. You can see that when the price is high, when it is 6, 15 kgs of wheat are supplied. On the other hand, when the price falls, when it falls to 5, the supply has reduced to 12, and as we go down, we see when the price falls to 4, it is 8 kgs, and when the price falls to 3, it is 4 kgs that is supplied, and as the price is falling, you find that supply is decreasing. And the same analogy can be used to explain what happens when the price rises. It would be reverse, and in both the cases we find that there is a positive or a direct relationship between prices and supply, and both of these, demand and supply, vary when the price changes, and an interaction between them, as the demand curve is a negative curve and the supply curve is a positive curve, just as the demand curve slopes downwards from the left to the right, the supply curve slopes upwards from the left to the right. Of course, it need not be explained maybe that supply relationship also can be depicted in different ways, depicted in the form of a function, in the form of a tabular table, or it can also be depicted in the form of a curve. And when we take up the interaction between demand and supply, also we can use a table or we can use a curve. The table that you see now on your screen gives us a hypothetical relationship between price, demand and supply. So, here we can find out the relationship between demand and supply at different prices. You find that when the price is very low, say 10 rupees, then the quantity demanded of say wheat or any other commodity is 120, whereas the supply is 20 kgs. So, you can see that demand is very much more than the supply, and as the price rises to 20 rupees, then demand falls to 100 kgs, whereas supply rises to 30 kgs. And as the price falls, for example, if it falls to 40 rupees, then you find that demand further falls to 60 kgs, whereas supply increases to 60 kgs. So, you find that both demand and supply are equal, but as the price rises further to 50 rupees, you will find that the demand falls to 40 kgs, whereas supply increases to 80 kgs, and there will be a surplus. So, what we find from this relationship is that at the equilibrium price, that is 40 rupees, 60 kgs of wheat are both demanded and supplied. So, this is known as the equilibrium price. So, by the interaction of demand and supply forces, the equilibrium price can be found out, or the equilibrium price is dictated, and whenever the price moves away from equilibrium, it is believed that the market forces have a tendency to bring back the price to equilibrium. For example, when there are shortages, price will rise, but then the price tends to come back again to equilibrium, and when there are surpluses, price will fall, but again the price tends to come back to equilibrium. So, ultimately equilibrium will be achieved, and the price at which we have equilibrium is known as the equilibrium price, and the quantity is known as the equilibrium quantity. So, let us summarize what we have discussed today. We try to have a more clear understanding of what demand and supply stand for, and we also looked into the laws that are related to both of these concepts, demand and supply, and we try to understand how an interaction between demand and supply helps us to achieve the equilibrium price, and whenever there is a disturbance in the short run, we have come to know that the prices always tend to move back to equilibrium level. But then it is said that demand and supply are catch-all phrases. Actually, there are many other factors that determine demand and supply, and therefore all those are in the background. We don't discuss those things. We only discuss about demand and supply, and we should know that there are many other factors in the background which determine the price in the market. Now, let me give you two questions. The first question is, what is demand? Explain the law of demand. The second question is, what is supply? Explain the law of supply.